So Chris Brien back in your face. Okay, and there's my face. Here we go. What's the theory? Hello. The 16th note rock beat number 1 in part 1 of the 16th note rock beats and progressive rhythms. My book. If you look at it, for people who don't know, you've got like a crotchet, or a quarter note, and a quarter note. The 1, 2. Then you've got a note with a dot and a note with a dash. When you see that shape, a note with a dot and a note with a dash, the note with the dot is called a dotted eighth note or a dotted quaver. And the note with the dash is a 16th note, a semiquaver. When you see that shape, it means you're playing the first and last 16th note of that count. That's literally based on 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4. That's what it is. And we hear this all the time. Now, when you dot notes, you add on half its value. So if we take an eighth note or a quaver equals half a count. So an eighth note or a quaver usually equals half a count. We put a dot after it, got to add on half of its value. Now, half of a half, if you go back to primary 1 mathematics, half of a half is a quarter. And a half plus a quarter, think of like half an orange and a quarter of an orange, it's 3 quarters. It's amazing how many adults forget this. So a dotted eighth note equals 3 quarters of a count, which means it lasts for the time of 1E and. And there's 1 quarter left, which is a 16th note, 1E and A. Main things to remember when you see that shape, you're playing the first and last 16th note. 1, a 2, 1, a 2, almost like a sneeze. Anyway, so that rhythm, the way you'd count the beat number 1 would be 1, 2, 3, a 4, bumped, gut, bumped, gut. Now that bass drum goes between the hi-hats. Now I know a lot of you guys already know this, but there are many people who don't. You know, you've got to cater for everyone because they know things you don't know. It doesn't matter how good I get at playing drums or playing the bass guitar, or whatever I do, or playing percussion. Yeah, I'm very good at it. I can't do an oil change in a car. I can't reverse park a truck. I don't know what the things are called on railway tracks. I'm a moron. We're all morons. So I don't like this attitude in the world. People think they're really good because they can do something. Yeah, there's most things you can't do. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. So number 1, 16th note rock beat under the Cascara groove. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, these beats sound a little bit funkier and cooler for obvious reasons. They're more syncopated. Syncopated means to break up the rhythm. The rhythm is broken up. Don't look up if you look up the definition of syncopation in Google, it is hideous. Talking about displacements of beats and metrical things. No. When something is syncopated, the rhythm's broken up. This is not syncopated. Drop out some of those notes. That's syncopated. Just breaking up the rhythm. Okay, now, Rainfall is syncopated all over the place. It's fantastic. Okay, then number 2 in the 16th note rock beats, it's 1, a 2. That same shape again, the dot with the dash, the first 16th note of the first count, and the last 16th note, 1E and A. 1, a 2, 3, 4. And just learn to do it 1, just feel that rhythm. Because you can change it. You can, instead of going 1, a 2, you could go 1, a 2, and make it more like R&B. And make it more jumpy, which is another lesson in itself. But at this stage, we're playing it straight. So basically, if you've got on a computer screen a hi-hat here, and the hi-hat here with the snare drum, you've got the bass drum back here, you've got a bass drum with a hi-hat here, got a hi-hat here. Now, the 16th note bass drum goes in between these two. Some people put it too close or too early. Got to get in the middle. That's playing it straight. We're shuffling it. It's that, which is incredibly awesome. But you first learn to play it straight. Or if maybe you first learn to play it shuffle, then learn to play it straight. Whatever. Anyway, so we're playing this straight. So number 2 is 1, a 2, 3, 4. Bumped, got, bumped, got, bumped, got, bumped. Under the Cascara groove, we get this. 1, 2. The number 3, I'll just check it, that's right. Number 3 is 1, 2, and 3 are 4. So you've got 2 eighth notes there with the dotted, you got a quarter note, 2 eighth notes, then a dotted eighth note, 16th note to a snare drum, to a chord note in the snare drum. So you got 2 and 3, 4. Boom, ta, boom, 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 ba. So that's 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3. And again, that bass drum is in between the hi-hats. Okay, so under the Cascara groove, you have this 1, 2 and 3, 4. The number 4, I think it's right. That's right. Exactly. Number 4 goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and boom, got, boom, got, boom, boom, got, boom, got, boom, boom. Okay, so number 4 with the Cascara groove. 2, 3, 4. There we are. I'll see you next drum session. All the best, Chris Brien. Gotta love those Bosphorus splash cymbals.